All right, everyone, we are back to take a look at Job chapter 8. I have a few notes that may help you in your study of it. Let's get into it. Verse 1. Then answered Bildad the Shuhite and said, How long wilt thou speak these things? And how long shall the words of thy mouth be like a strong wind? Doth God pervert judgment? Or doth the Almighty pervert justice? If thy children have sinned against him, and he have cast them away for their transgression. So I found this interesting because if Bildad claims that God cannot pervert judgment, then Job's children must have committed transgressions. Job's plight is not transmitted to them for no good reason, thus Bildad makes his claim. And though I don't know if I believe this, right, it does call to mind Job's earlier decision to sacrifice for his children. Though we have no record of the children sinning, but possibly they are connected in some way, or that Bildad doesn't have a complete picture of God's justice. Verse 5, If thou wouldest seek unto God betimes, and make thy supplication to the Almighty. I didn't know what this betimes word meant, so I went to Barnes' Notes on the Bible. And I thought I would include this because maybe you don't know what betimes means either. If thou wouldest seek unto God betimes, if thou wouldest do it now, if even on the supposition that your sons have thus perished and that God has come out in judgment against your family, you would look to God. You might be restored to favor. The word rendered seek betimes means literally to seek in the morning, to seek early, and then to make it the first business. It is derived from the word meaning aurora and has reference to the early light of the morning and hence to an early seeking. It may be applied to seeking him in early life or as the first thing, looking to him immediately when help is needed or before we apply to anyone else. The seek betimes, when I say the word is related to the word for aura, this is in Hebrew. I guess it's pronounced shakar, and shakar, there's an accent difference, but I don't speak Hebrew, so you'll have to look into that for yourself. Verse 6. If thou wert pure and upright, surely now he would awake for thee and make the habitation of thy righteousness prosperous. Awake for thee. You know, if you take this literally, this is quite a strange way of portraying God as if he is oblivious to Job's suffering or he's sleeping on him. But I guess we could take it figuratively. Verse 7, Though thy beginning was small, yet thy latter end should greatly increase. And the next three verses, 8 through 10, are great poetic lines referring to the wisdom of ancestors who perhaps had a different and closer relationship with God. For inquire, I pray thee, of the former age, and prepare thyself to the search of their fathers. For we are but of yesterday, and know nothing, because our days upon earth are a shadow. Shall not they teach thee, and tell thee, and utter words out of their heart? Can the rush grow up without mire? Can the flag grow without water? All right, so this is going to be an interesting conversation about these metaphors here of plants. So what is a rush? From the Jamieson Fawcett Brown Bible, rush, rather paper reed, the papyrus of Egypt, which was used to make garments, shoes, baskets, boats, and paper, a word derived from it. It and the flag, or bulrush, grow only in marshy places, such as are along the Nile, so the godless thrives only in external prosperity. There is in the hypocrite no inward stability. His prosperity is like the rapid growth of water plants. Verse 12, whilst it is yet in his greenness and not cut down, it withereth before any other herb. So are the paths of all that forget God, and the hypocrites' hope shall perish. Whose hope shall be cut off, and whose trust shall be a spider's web? The spider web idea seems to mean that it's very cumbersome, weak, and insubstantial. The hope and trust, if he's not been interiorly properly constituted. Verse 15, he shall lean upon his house, but it shall not stand. He shall hold it fast, but it shall not endure. He is green before the sun, and his branch shooteth forth in his garden. His roots are wrapped about the heap, and seeth the place of stones. When I read that, I thought maybe this could be foreshadowing the idea of seed planted on stony land or inhospitable soil that's talked about in the New Testament. But I don't know. I'm just guessing. Verse 18, if he destroy him from his place, then it shall deny him, saying, I have not seen thee. So some context for this from the Cambridge Bible for schools and colleges. If he destroy him, the subject is God. The words might be rendered, if he be, parentheses, when he is destroyed. This is perhaps better as the plant is spoken of. The point of the verse is not who destroys him, but that he is destroyed. And when destroyed, utterly disappears, so that his place says, I never saw thee. In spite of his luxuriance and hold of the soil, he is suddenly and wholly swept away, and his place denies ever having known him. Behold, this is the joy of his way, and out of the earth shall others grow. So I found this curious. I thought it was interesting how the his in verse 19 is not capitalized, which makes it confusing at times who the subject is. I'm kind of accustomed in reading theological stuff in the Bible where you know when you're talking about God, it's capitalized with an H, his. When capitalized, it's much easier to know if the subject is God. I just said that. Would be a worthwhile study to know why in Job, or at least this chapter 8, his is not capitalized, and when that convention started. I'm sure there's some scholar of Job 8 who could tell me all about that, but I'm not going to do it. And out of the earth shall others grow. I think this is saying better individuals will take the hypocrite's place. Verse 20, behold, God will not cast away a perfect man, neither will he help the evildoers. Okay, Bildad is again insinuating that Job must have some secret sin to bring on this condition. He has no concept of justice to explain Job's downfall. And, do we? We'll see. We'll see if we get one as we work our way through Job. Till he fill thy mouth with laughing and thy lips with rejoicing. They that hate thee shall be clothed with shame, and the dwelling place of the wicked shall come to naught. Okay, that's what I have for today. Thank you.